Good morning again. It's good to have you along. Welcome to the fourth hour of the Greg Belfrage Show, and the comments are already piling up as we were talking about Amendment H a little bit, talk about Referred Law 21 on the program this morning, trying to put that in context for folks. And Steve made a comment. He said, as a rule, I vote no on all amendments and initiated measures, even if I would support them, because the initiated measure is a poor way to govern. We elect a legislature for a reason. And then he goes on to say, if the Amendment H people want to vote in a primary that has meaning, they can change their registration to Republican or find a Democrat candidate that is in the head case. Good luck with that. Steve, you always make me laugh. I appreciate that very much. And then Terry followed up. The commercials about the amendments are very deceiving. Good for the state and good for business. Should be enough to make people research, but sadly, the majority go with the marketing garbage. I just want to make sure, as I talked about that stuff this morning, I want to make sure that everybody understands what, referred law 21 is, what it means. The Amendment H, their television ads are everywhere. And again, that's open primaries. And this is one of the reasons why I'm going to be voting no on just about everything on the ballot. And then I heard from a friend, one of my close friends texted me right at the end of the show. Hold on a second, because he always makes me laugh. He's terrific. By the way, the H in Amendment 8 stands for hell no. So he's definitely not voting for Amendment H. But again, how you vote, it's entirely yours. I just share my thoughts and ideas with you, and I totally respect, your own thoughts and ideas. And that's why I love hearing from you and sharing your comments. Okay, I've got some stories that I wanted to share this morning. Let's see where do we begin? Where to begin? Let's start with this, because this is just so cringy, man. This is and I don't know who this is. I present to you the cringiest political ad ever created. Have you seen this? This is crazy. Watch this.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies? Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donut.
Man enough to
Man enough
support
to
women.
admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story. That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women.
Well, you know who we're talking about, right? I mean, that's enough. I mean, it's a minute and a half, and I've got to say, I thought it was enough. At about 10 seconds into it, I wanted to, I just wanted it to be over. I'm mad enough to cry and tell you that ad is terrible. Don't make me watch it anymore. Man, just unbelievable. I've had this story all morning, and I did not share it on the air because honestly, I thought there's more important things going on, the more serious things going on. It's a story at Fox News. However, they picked it up this morning, and this is we're talking now about the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, feeding a kneeling feminist. She's the host of a feminist podcast, feeding her a Doritos chip while wearing a Harris Walls cameo campaign hat. And now you want to talk about things that are cringeworthy? I mean, this is just like crazy. And so Tim Murtaugh says, let's be clear what's happening in this video. Governor Whitmer of Michigan is pretending to give communion to a leftist podcaster on her knees using a Dorito as the Eucharist while wearing a Harris Walls hat. Do they want 0 Catholic votes for Harris? The whole thing is cringe. Now, there are some on TikTok who are responding to that and saying that's not what this is a TikTok trend. Man, TikTok trends. I'm glad I'm not on TikTok. I mean, the assault on my intelligence would just be too much. Seriously, I just can't handle it. So this video, folks are saying this is a TikTok trend. It has absolutely nothing to do with Catholicism. That's quite a stretch to claim that. I'm going to roll the video here and you can decide for yourself. And what is with that? And then that abrupt stop. So first of all, if that's what's trending on TikTok, thank God I'm not on TikTok. I mean, so I don't know what that's about. We're gonna roll it again. It's fairly short. A lot shorter than that 1 minute video was or 2 minute video was airing for you earlier. I just wanted it to end, man. I just wanted it to be over. Here we go. That's just the fact that is even generating news. I mean, that's like an assault on your intelligence. I mean, to even have to look at this stuff. I mean, it's just, this stuff is so incredibly stupid that I don't even know where to begin. And I will say, I am a Catholic myself. I am a Catholic. And that, if you watch that gal sticking her tongue out, taking that Doritos chip, that absolutely is meant to look like you are receiving the Eucharist. That's how folks do it. That's how some folks do it. They stick out their tongue so the priest can just set the wafer on their tongue. I mean, that is absolutely designed to look like that, in my opinion. I understand why some people would be reacting to it. That as far as other people who probably never set foot in a church before in their lives, God only knows what they. Well, it's a trend on TikTok. Oh man, it's not meant to be mocking. No, maybe it's not, but it's incredibly stupid. Can you and I agree on that is just incredibly stupid? Yeah, Steve said he saw this. It was bizarre. I agree. Steve, I love the internet. Never a dull moment. I know. It's just absolutely crazy. So let's see what else I had. I want to close some of my. Okay, let's talk about Alejandro Mayorkas. I have got to share I didn't talk about this much during the show this morning. So I will show you. Here it is. So this is from Post Millennial. Mayorkas refuses to answer. He was asked about this alleged terrorist who has been released after he was charged with planning a terrorist attack on Election Day. And so I want you to see this because Alejandro Mayorkas was giving a briefing on the hurricanes. And this question came up about this terrorist. He was arrested by police this week. Discovered he was stockpiling automatic weapons in order to plan a terrorist attack on Election Day. So you've been hearing this story probably. So Mayorkas is asked about this, and he refuses to talk about it because, we're doing a briefing right now on the hurricanes, and you got to. I think this is less than 2 minutes.
Afghan national who was working for the CIA in Afghanistan was arrested for planning an Election Day terror plot. He was brought to the U.S. after Afghanistan collapsed. Your agency says as part of the SIV program. The State Department is telling us he was not part of the SIV program, which had strenuous vetting. They say he was never issued an SIV or immigrant visa, and DHS paroled him into the U.S. They further expect the court document to be updated to reflect this from the DOJ side. So, Mr. Secretary, how was this man brought into the U.S.? What screening did he undergo? What did he apply for to get here?
Great question.
Jackie, I'm here in North Carolina communicating with the individuals who are still conducting search and rescue operations.
In other words,
over 200 people have lost their lives in Hurricane Helene.
She presses him again.
Reports
and it's
that
more
at least
of
10 individuals have lost their lives as a result of Hurricane Milton. I'd be very pleased to answer your question in a different setting, but we're here to talk about emergencies and the support that we can deliver to people in desperate need. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Mr. Secretary, but we're getting...
No, she persists. She persists, and it's the same thing again. So there's really not much sense in listening to any more of that. The is it inappropriate that, I mean, they're holding a news conference, and again, they're talking about what's going on with the hurricanes. Understood. I get that. But should he, this is also a big question. It's on the minds of many. Should he at least be responding to it? And he's saying, well, I'd be happy to do that in a different setting. It'll be interesting to see as to whether or not we see any more regarding this, as to whether or not he addresses this issue, because now he's been asked about it. Certainly then it's got to be on his radar, right? He's been asked about it and was asked about it repeatedly. And you heard a portion of that. She very detailed and very specific question, went on at length. Will he respond to it? Does he need to wait for another news conference to be able to address that? He certainly has got more access to the media than, you and I have. So he doesn't have to wait for to be able to come out, or he could have a release and say, you know what, we're going to respond to that. I appreciate the question. Look for a release from us later today on this, but let's deal with this right now. What he does is just absolutely dodges the question. She asked it, I think, 3 times, and he refused to answer it. He just repeatedly refused to answer the question. And that is, I think that's pretty telling of Alejandro Mayorkas and the way he does business. All right. Let's take a look at the New York Post, because there were a number of things on the CEO of UFC, Dana White. Now, he's a friend of Trump's, been supportive of Trump. So I want you to be able to put this in context. He's slamming Kamala Harris' appearance on Colbert, the drinking of the beers. And again, if I took such an unserious view of the news every morning, would you even listen? Would you even listen to me? I mean, if I just took a completely unserious view of the news, every single, she's running for president. She's on Colbert. Excuse me. And they're sipping a beer. So Dana White says, I don't like to post a lot of political content, but this clip should scare everyone. She's the sitting VP running for president of the United States. She is incapable of putting a sentence together without a teleprompter, and even she appears to know she's in way over her head. This election is very important, and this, along with many other clips of her attempting to answer questions, should scare the blank out of you. He says, should scare everybody. There are some other stories here. This one is a little bit crazy. Meteorologists hit with death threats after debunking hurricane conspiracy theories. And take a look at this. I mean, man, there are a lot of folks that have got a loose grip. They've got an absolutely loose grip on reality. One meteorologist saying she's been getting death threats for debunking wild conspiracy theories that the government is somehow behind the hurricanes. And she said on X, murdering meteorologists won't stop hurricanes, she said. And then she followed it. I can't believe I just had to type that. I like the look of this guy. I would watch this guy. He's a meteorologist in Alabama, James Spann, says he has faced a barrage of threats. Let's move on. Oh, this is the post I mentioned. Murdering meteorologists won't stop hurricanes. I can't believe I just had to type that. We get a lot of people out there. This is another one. Meteorologist in Washington said he's received hundreds of messages from people accusing him of modifying the weather to create hurricanes with space lasers. This is crazy, man. For me to post a hurricane forecast and for people to accuse me of creating the hurricane by working for some secret Illuminati entity is disappointing and distressing, and it's resulting in a decrease in public trust, he said. James Spann, and this just goes on. The number of meteorologists who say they've received threats. He's faced a barrage of threats warning him, stop lying about the government controlling the weather or else. He said, wow. I mean, I think we need to run some kind of a sale on crazy because we got an excess of crazy. So come on down and take some of this crazy off our hands, will you? I mean, wow. That is just like absolutely incredible. And then there was, you know what? I think I'm going to end on that story today because it's a lighter story and I don't know that there's anything else. Yeah, David, I agree with you. It's one thing to disagree. It's quite another to threaten someone. That is, it's just absolutely crazy. And this, again, it's worth repeating. Steve's comment, I love the internet, never a dull moment. I can't argue with that, Steve. I want to thank you all for being here. Hit that like button before you leave. That would be very much appreciated. If you got like-minded friends, tell them you enjoy what we're doing and invite them to participate, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube. That would be greatly appreciated. I want to wish you a wonderful weekend. Hope you take care. Hope you have some fun, actually, this weekend. I'll see you again on Monday, or at least I hope to. So long until then, my friend, and may God bless.